Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first episode of our podcast. We don't know what we're calling it yet. We're calling it the Two Amigos, but we don't have a solid foundation of what we're gonna call it yet. But I'm joined here by my friend Ben. Also, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Kiddo Lee. And Ben, what do you say to the people listening to this?
My name Ben,
And
and thank you for tuning in to our very first podcast.
yes, and disclaimer: this is not a video podcast. This is an audio podcast, so there's nothing on your screen. There might be a still image of something, but other than that, it's really there's nothing on your screen. But anyways,
At all.
yes, this is our first episode. We are very excited, guys. We are very excited. We're actually in two separate households right now. We're not in the same house, but we're in two different locations. So the way we're actually doing this is we're using OBS, or Open Broadcast System, or software, excuse me. And I actually had to create a different profile when it came to recording this, because originally my first profile was used for recording YouTube videos of gameplays and whatnot. But this one here is actually used to record audio. And even though I can't record audio itself in an MP3 format because this is OBS, which is a screen recorder, we're gonna make do with what we got. So, anyways, yes, this podcast usually will have more people, hopefully in the near future. But for now, it's just gotta be me and Ben here. Hence why we're kind of gonna call it the Two Amigos. But we're gonna figure out what we really want to call it. But anyways, Ben, do you have anything you want to talk about? You want to say something before we really jump into it?
Uh, None much to talk about. We can kick off our first topic on what we want to talk about.
And that's actually,
Anything in general.
yeah, I actually kind of wrote down I planned this out earlier in the day before I had to go to work, and it's called podcast ideas.
Podcast.
So we can talk about movies, activities, games. We can talk about topics. But real quick before we actually go further, I want to talk about E3 and Resident Evil 2, the remake that's coming out. How do you feel about
Ooh.
that?
It's finally going back to the roots. After Resident Evil 7, it tried going back to the roots, but now getting that remake, hopefully it just lives up to the hype that we deserve.
Yes, and I before you guys go ahead and get your pitchforks and torches out, I've actually never played the original Resident Evil 2. And Ben, have you ever played the original Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
Dang, I'm really slacking. Anyways, so the original Resident Evil 2, I believe, came out in 1998 or 1990, because I'm pretty sure the original Resident Evil game, the original in the Mansion one, came out in 96. Now, the remake for Resident Evil 1 came out, I think, 2001 or 2 for the GameCube, and they did a fantastic job with the first Resident Evil remake. That was awesome. I played it probably once or twice and gave up very quick because I realized that I'm not that good at the classic Resident Evil games. Because, how do I say this? I know a lot of people don't like Resident Evil 5, but Resident Evil 5 is the first game where I managed to actually get all the achievements in professional, veteran, and like it was really bad. It was, I don't know why I liked Resident Evil 5 so much, but I did play a little bit of the traditional ones, such as Code Veronica. Resident Evil Code Veronica was probably the first traditional fixed camera angles and everything, of that, the classic original Resident Evil.
And
Um,
plus, it was your first original videos
Oh
on
yes,
your.
yes. The Resident Evil. I made a Resident Evil Code Veronica playthrough, and I got decently far to the second half of the game until my PS2 broke. And I remember when I was recording that series, I knew that game back, like on the front side and back side of Resident Evil Code Veronica. It was insane. But anyways, the new Resident Evil 2, it looks awesome, and they actually just released gameplay footage. Have you seen that, Ben?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, they released gameplay footage, and it's awesome. It's over the shoulder. And how do you feel about the over the shoulder, Ben? Would you prefer like first person over the shoulder or like fixed camera angles?
Over the shoulder, because that's the original. That's all like we're used to it right now. But like when people want to go back to like the older usual standards, and it's better, was like overhead. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it moves for you, so you don't have to move it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And real quick, I just want to say, if you guys hear like background noises and stuff, apologize for that. Same by my computer. My mic is kind of sensitive, so it'll probably pick up me clicking my mouse, typing some things down, just because I'm just doing that. But anyways, the new Resident Evil 2, like I said, I'm excited for it. It's coming out January 25th, 2019. I think it's gotta be awesome. Just judging from the gameplay, the atmosphere is really reminiscent of Dead Space, the original Dead Space. Um, I think it's gonna be awesome. And with the new character models of Leon and Claire and Sherry, I mean I kind of like how Leon looks, but at the same time, there's just it's a remake, so not he's not gonna look like the original Cell back from 1998, or I don't even know, the original Resident Evil 2, because back in that time, how do I say it?
That was
So
terrible
yeah,
graphics.
Leon was a block. Literally, he was a block, and I wasn't gonna like say much about trying to recreate how Leon looked back in 1998, because you really couldn't do that. You really can't do that. But I think he looks alright. But I think the Leon from Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City looks a little better in my opinion. Even though Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City is not canon, it is definitely not canon. It's just a what if scenario. But Leon from Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, I think looks pretty cool too. But the new design of Leon from Resident Evil 2, I think it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it, but he's still in his original RPD form and whatnot. Claire looks. Yeah, her outfit changed from her original biker outfit, and you can't. I can't say much about that. Maybe it's just a change in it, judging that they're in an apocalypse.
Yeah. The first game, I mean, it first came out in January 21st, 1998.
Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and then the original one came out in 96.
Yes.
You know, I really wonder now version of Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1.5.
hmm
You remember
Uh, the original Resident Evil.
like or so Resident Evil 1.5 was actually the original Resident Evil 2.
hmm
And they actually scrapped it. They were like 95, if I remember correctly, they were like 95% done with the game. Like the Resident Evil, Resident Evil 1.5, I'll just call it from there on out. Resident Evil 1.5 was ready to be released. Like they were set on setting the game on everything, and then they were like they're planning to release it. I'm looking this up right now. Release it on March 7th, or excuse me, not 7th, March 1997. I saw the 7th first, but yeah, they were planning to release it in 1997, but it was scrapped in 1997. And I'm reading this from the Wikipedia page at this point. It says, as the game was approaching its March 1997 release date, the developers were dissatisfied with the resulting product. Rather than releasing a game they were unhappy with, the developers took the risk of canceling the game and developing the game again from scratch. So
Hmm.
that is that's a bold move right there, to actually scrap a game that you're done with, and then restarting from the bottom again. And I'm glad that Capcom actually did that. Knowing some game developers, I'm not gonna say a lot of game developers, but there's some game developers out there, knowing that their games are really bad, and they still kind of release it, and then of course they get the bad reception. And what do you expect? I'm kind of gonna say that, and even though I said I wasn't gonna call names, I'm gonna call Gearbox with Aliens, Colonial Marines. They hyped that game up. The game looked amazing, and then it was just a buggy mess on the day one release. And then, given a while, they released a 4 GB update, and they fixed it a little bit, but it just wasn't the same as they showed in the trailers.
hmm
And so of course Resident Evil 1.5, there was a whole bunch of different characters too. And originally, the two main characters, Leon, and instead of Claire, it was actually Elza, who was Claire originally. They weren't actually supposed to cross paths at all in the game, as Leon and Claire cross paths multiple times in Resident Evil 2. Heck, even in the beginning of the game, they cross paths together. In Resident Evil 1.5, they never cross paths together. Like, Leon was a rookie stuck inside the. He was defending the police station as a rookie. He was on the roof, and then I'm reading this right now from the wiki page again. So it says the cast. There's a whole bunch of cast right here. So let's go ahead and read Leon's side. So Leon as Kennedy. Leon's role in the game was that of a rookie police officer defending the RPD. While it's on the roof, the infected enter. At some point, he was to escape into the sewers with Ada and Marvin. And then, if you guys don't know who Marvin is, he was actually the guy who, you know, uh, was in the police station where Leon first originally arrived when he was already dying. He's like, oh, you must be the new rookie. Sorry about your your party and whatnot. But he was originally supposed to have a bigger role too. So Leon's supporting character, like Leon, he was just a police officer defending the station from the hordes of undead and other BOWs. Unlike in the final version, he was to play a much larger role and was to escape into the sewers with both Leon and Ada. And that's what I'm kind of getting at with Resident Evil 2, the remake, is that Marvin is actually got to play a bigger role this time around than he did back in Resident Evil 2, the original.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's gotta be crazy. And then of course there's Ada Wong, right?
The classic Ada Wong.
Ada Wong and another Leon supporting character. Her name was originally Linda in the early development of 1.5, but was eventually changed to Ada. Linda may have just been a working name for development purposes. Her role is similar with Ada in the finished game, a double agent spy working with Umbrella, which at the same time is sent to retrieve a sample of the G virus. She has the same mysterious and sassy personality with Ada in the finished product, except that she is a scientist. Okay?
Hmm.
And then we have Elsa's side. Elsa's side, excuse me. I'm throwing away a paper that's sitting in my pocket, so sorry about that if you heard it. So Elsa Walker. Elsa's role was a college student returning to Raccoon City after a holiday. At some point, she joins up with John and Sherry, where they plan their escape. Elsa soon became Claire Redfield in the finished product. And there's of course John, who I think oh never mind. John was a oh yes, John was supposed to look like Robert Kendall, who was the gun store owner at the beginning of the Resident Evil 2 game where he gets killed. So yeah, John, I guess, one of Elsa's supporting character known as John in 1.5. He was a civilian who seeks refuge in the RPD. He later became Robert Kendall in the final version of Biohazard 2. There's Roy, another RPD officer, role and scenario unknown, but it is assumed his role is similar to that of Marvin. Judging from available footage, he seems had connection with John. He's found in a small room and gives Elsa the key to John's cell. After rescuing John, returned to Roy. Roy eventually becomes infected and turns into a zombie. And after pleading with John to end his life, Roy is eventually shot and killed by John. Okay, sorry, my mic just went off. I don't know if you guys heard that coming from a computer, but anyways, yeah, it's crazy to think about all this stuff, right? Uh,
Yeah.
okay, and so like, do you think Resident Evil 2 will succeed in recreating the horror elements again?
Yeah. Because, I mean, this is 2018, and the graphics are better than ever. Nothing's going to be lighter. It's going to be all dark, like, lights off. You're going to have, like, that feeling that you're going to have to watch yourself a lot more from behind, more than
Mm-hmm.
any time before.
Right.
Like, if you look at Resident Evil, if you look at the older Resident Evils, like before anything, they all look super light. Everything is just brighter. Like in Resident Evil 4, the game was scarier because like you had to look for yourself and you had to look for after Ashley,
Right.
and it was lighter. And if they were to remake that game now, it would be terrifying because of like they would tint the whole entire like lighting down. The brightness would be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
They would make the characters even scarier. And this game, if you look at the older Resident Evils, like if you look at Resident Evil 7,
Yep.
look at how that came out.
Oh yeah.
They told everybody this is gonna be a scary game, and they delivered the scariness from the game.
Yes, it was. Resident Evil 7 was pretty frightening in its own way.
Because like you go from a different area, from like a different setting in a whole different storyline, something just completely new characters, new everything.
Mhm.
thinking you're gonna go in there with high heights of like, oh, you're gonna be Leon, Chris, or someone like that.
Yep.
And there's no zombies; it's mold, and these molds are even harder to kill.
Yeah, that's Resident Evil. I mean, Resident Evil 7 was it was different in its own way, and that's just how it is. And I'm kind of glad that they made it a little bit more horror. I mean, of course, you have guns and stuff. Of course, what game in Resident Evil? It can't be Resident Evil unless you have some guns with you, right?
Yeah,
But I think that it did a great job with bringing back the original horror base and everything like that. But I'm really going to enjoy playing Resident Evil 2, even though there's gonna be from over the shoulder. I'm gonna enjoy regardless. I'm not gonna really complain because I know there's gotta be a couple of people complaining about that. They should have a fixed camera, but I feel with like the new technology that we're at right now, it's just I don't think it's just gonna work. Because if you really look at the original Resident Evil 2 gameplay and stuff like that, it's it's the engine and stuff isn't as fast and stuff like that. I mean, of course, granted at the time that was pretty amazing. You know,
this is like the best graphics at the time.
Yeah, and also, if you go back and look at it, the gameplay, the zombies and stuff move so much slower. And now, if you go look at the Resident Evil 2 gameplay that they just released, the zombies move a little quicker, and I feel like it'd just be kind of hard working with the
To
fixed
avoid them.
cameras. And it's also kind of hard saying at this point because there's so many games at this point that are just third person that it's kind of I would say it's kind of hard for some people to adjust to. I may be wrong. This is just this I'm speaking this from my perspective. But I mean, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be awesome
I feel like
to really get to play.
for the hype that it's building up, I feel like it's gonna deliver what the Resident Evil fans wanted for such a long ass time. Like Resident Evil 6 was just that James Bond feeling movie, if you want to say. Like it was so action packed that you're like, where's the horror? Where's the original? Where's this and that? And
Hmm.
it never gave that feeling. It just gave that feeling of, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, a big monster's gonna just appear right here, right now, and it's gonna try to kill me, and I have to kill it right now.
Yeah.
While in like old Resident Evils, it's like, oh, you don't expect anything to come at all. Like the big fucking like the big guy in Resident Evil 4, you never knew when he was gonna come because he was so rare to come.
Yeah. And
And
go ahead.
and when he came, it just scared you because you're like, I don't know what to do. How is he? How strong is he? And every time they showed you how strong was he, it was snippets, and you would just be like, oh, what else has he developed? Because you don't know uh what's going to be up their sleeves anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I, and with you saying Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 6 like having that James Bond feeling, it was it was. I mean, I played it. Yeah, of course, I played Resident Evil, 6 and stuff. I played a lot of it through the Mercenaries and anything like that. But it really, to me, it truly didn't feel like Resident Evil. It just felt like a action-packed third-person game, just with the Resident Evil title. You know,
Yeah,
and I mean, at times it was pretty scary. I mean, when that giant, I keep forgetting these names now. That giant monster when you're playing as Jake chases you.
yeah.
That's pretty frightening too when that chases you and whatnot. But
Because
overall,
like
I
I
didn't
mean,
like it as much as I thought I would like it.
yeah. Because I mean, I remember like as a kid just waiting for that game, just being so hyped. I remember when the trailer came out, I was just like shocked. I was like, "Holy heck!" Because like this is Resident Evil. This is Resident Evil, and they're coming out with a new game. Was one new character and one original character and two original characters from the old games.
Yep, and I remember when
So
the Resident Evil 6 trailer came out, we speculated a lot. We were like, who's this new character? Who was Jake at the time? We speculated who he was. We're like, is he like, is he Wesker's son? Is he, a Steve from Resident Evil Code Veronica and all that stuff? We were like, we
we were
were
just digging
yeah,
deep. We were making
we were making
theories.
speculations everywhere, and then of course he is Wesker's son, so that theory was true. But I really thought that he was Steve from Resident Evil Code Veronica for some reason. I really thought he was Steve, but I was wrong. But I mean, still,
Because like, I mean, um, Jake does have his own elements to his like to the thing. Like just because he's the son of probably one of the strongest characters in Resident Evil,
hmm
to live so far. Um, he has his own elements. Like he's nothing like his dad. Like he's not. He doesn't have that intent to like kill someone for the purpose of like anything
Well, I mean,
or like
granted the fact that that sense of remorse inside of him, even to help Sherry, and also he was like, what was his, his original price was like 500 million or 50 million or something like that. And at the end of the game, he was all like, I changed my price to $50. It just
yeah,
shows that he's able to, he has some sort of his feelings and stuff. He's able to, you know,
feel emotion.
yeah, feel emotions and stuff like that. That's just how it is.
Like what was his partner's name again? Was it Sherry?
Who, Jake's?
Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
yeah. When he saw that Sherry when she got impaled by like that piece of fragment and realized that she's no different than him, he's like, we're not so different after all. Like we're not so like we're both something special in a way of form.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so he felt that way of remorse for her.
yeah, and like when he pulled it out and she just started healing, he was all like, "What the?" He was confused, and I'd be confused too if I pull something out with somebody and they start healing like this. Whoa.
It's like that's just a bit way too much.
Yeah,
Like I
no.
know them. I know my dad's like messed up in the head and how he is, but like, wow, you're able to do that.
I mean, I like Jake's character, and hopefully they'll be able to, uh, hopefully they'll be able to like,
Develop him and make him like his own game.
what? Sorry, my mic. I don't know why my mic came up, but yes, hopefully, like you said,
He's able to get his own game. He's
yeah,
able to get his own story. Like we need more of Jake. We just can't get left off with Resident Evil 6 Jake. We need a Jake that we know is going to end up be like someone that can be an official character to the game.
yeah. The
At first,
official.
when I saw the,
Go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this. Is, I even said, I hope this is a horror game. I just really hope this is a horror game.
With
And
Resident
I
Evil
thought it was
6.
no, the Resident Evil 2
Oh,
remake
yeah,
trailer when it
yeah.
came out. When I saw it yesterday, I was like, hopefully this is a horror game. Hopefully it's something new. I'm just been waiting for a horror game, something like this, and the trailer just kicks off with the perspective of you as a rat,
Oh yeah,
and
I was like,
I was like, how that?
yeah, I was confused at first, but then once I realized that it was a perspective of a rat, I really, it was kind of caught me off guard at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
Even my friend, when we were listening, when we were watching it, he was like, he's like, I bet it is a rat because we heard the squeaks and we're like, oh yeah, it's a rat. It's like this is an actual rat. I was like, it's gonna make a horror game based off of rats.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was
And
thinking too. I was like, wait, wait a minute, what?
I was like, this is not what I want.
Yeah, I was not, I was not expecting the rats.
And then uh and then I saw like the shelves get hit, and then you just hear it's like an officer asking someone to get down, and just like, oh, this must be a zombie or something. 'Cause
Yep.
I know that recently trailers for this game, The Walking Dead, but made by the developer Overkill,
Yeah.
is coming out, and I was like, oh, this must be a new trailer for a new character, but this we're watching it through a perspective of a rat.
Yep. Dude, when Leon showed up in the trailer and killed that zombie, if you like the E3, like people at E3 were like, they were freaking out. They're all like, "Oh my!" I was like, "Dude, Leon, this is gonna be awesome." I was
Yeah,
so ready for that. I was like, "Dang."
and then when like the shelf fell and like it landed on top of the I mean it landed and he killed the rat. I was like, what the hell is going on? And you just see like the guy flash his flashlight towards the zombie just eating his friend. I'm like, oh my god, is this what I think it is? And then like you just see Leon just kills a zombie, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. This is it. I'm like, oh my god. And then I saw Resident Evil, and I saw the two. I'm like, what the hell? Why do they look like the fonts from Resident Evil 7? Like, are they gonna make a DLC? I'm like, this has to be a DLC. And it shows Resident Evil 2. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, they are gonna make
Yeah,
this. This is legit.
dude, I was so excited. It was crazy. Okay,
Like, damn.
real quick, we're gonna take a brief intermission here, and we'll be back very soon. So, we'll just gotta take a brief intermission. All right, welcome back to the podcast. After a quick, brief intermission, there we have returned, and we're changing the topics from E3 games, specifically Resident Evil 2, to movies. Yes, movies. We all we all love movies, don't we? And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. I am excited for the Incredibles 2. I actually have early screen tickets. I'm gonna go see it this coming Thursday. Uh,
Trash.
yeah, Ben, what do you have to say about the Incredibles 2? I know, like kids should be freaking out about this, but I feel like
No,
yeah,
not kids.
yeah, I feel like I've been waiting for a
Teens.
long time for the Incredibles 2 to come out.
Who hasn't? Like, the first movie was released in November 2004.
Do you remember everything off the top of your head?
I think. I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna. I don't want to like look it up at all right now. But
Yeah,
like, I feel like it did come out back in 2004.
yeah, I think it was 2004 or around or 2003 actually. I'm not even sure, but it came out a long time ago.
I was on like I was on Instagram and I was watching this clip, and this is this guy. He's going into a movie theater and he has this like Mr. Incredible suit on,
Oh yeah.
and he's pushing this kid, and he's like, "Move out the way." He's like, "But bro, come on, let me go watch the movie." And he's like, and I think under his breath, he's like, "Boy, you weren't even born by the time this movie came out."
Very,
I'm like,
very
yo,
true. That it's been a long time coming. I'm excited to see this movie. Uh,
because like,
Go ahead.
because like, the movie did leave on a cliffhanger the time we
It
last
did,
saw it.
it did, and I'm hoping they start off the movie.
With the junk man,
Yeah, yeah, and
like, you gotta open it up. So,
and what else am I excited for? I'm also, I think there was a It Chapter 2. It's still got a while to come out, but I'm excited for the Chapter 2 of It.
Bill Hader just got casted to play as Richie Tozier.
Who did?
Bill Hader or Heater, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Oh,
He's a comedian though.
yeah,
He's a really funny guy,
yeah.
and he got casted.
It looks pretty interesting, actually.
And then they got this guy who like was in an Old Spice commercial to play as Mike.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. I was like, they're making this legit. They got 3 cast members so far confirmed.
Mhm.
They just needed 2 more of the kids to confirm as the losers, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they got their guys.
I'm really excited for the new It too, because I watched It in theaters, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of spooked. I mean, I was kind of spooked.
I wanted to watch it in theaters, but I just never got the chance to, or
Yeah.
it got canceled the time I wanted to go watch it.
And
But
what do you call it? That also reminds me. I'm not a big horror film person. I should say that now. I'm not a big horror film person.
I
So
am.
going out to watch it was pretty amazing, that the fact that I was even able to get out the house to actually go and watch it, because like I said, I'm not a big fan of horror films. There's just something about them that I can't do.
I love them. Like, I love that suspense sometimes, but sometimes I just know when stuff is coming, which ruins it for me. But I still love horror movies.
I can't stand horror movies. There's just something about that that's just no.
Like, I saw the Halloween trailer just come out, the new one, and it looks like it's gonna be promisingly scary though.
The new Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh shoot, they even released a new Halloween one. I didn't even realize that. Hold on, let me go on. What's it?
Yeah,
Is it just called Halloween, or what's it called?
it's called Halloween.
Halloween 2018. They're planning on releasing it in October. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is returning.
Yeah,
Dude, that is gotta be awesome. Oh,
yeah.
it's just called Halloween. Wow, that sounds amazing. Halloween's an upcoming American slasher film, directed by David Gordon Green and written by Green. Okay, it is the 11th installment. How many installments they have? This is the 11th one.
Yeah.
Picking up
But this one's
40.
gonna be.
What?
But this one's gonna be like a different story because like apparently in one of the Halloween she died
Oh,
or something like that.
interesting. Picking up 40 years after the events of the original film while disregarding the continuity of the previous sequels. Okay, so that would make a lot more sense. Series co-creator John Carpenter serves as a composer, executive producer, and creative consultant for the film, while Jason Blum produces. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, Laurie Strode comes face to face for one final encounter with Michael Myers 40 years after his initial killing spree on Halloween night. This is gotta be good. I mean, I probably won't go, I probably won't go and see it. I want to read the reviews and stuff too.
I want to go watch it. Like horror movie, it's like amazing. I saw the trailer and oh my god. I mean, the beginnings were just. I'm not gonna lie. The beginning was like pretty stupid of the trailer,
Hmm.
but I understand why. But then it just gets scarier and scarier later on.
Right.
Like I don't want to say anything about it. Like I don't want to go like, oh yeah, this is this and that and that and this.
Yeah, we just have to wait. We have to wait until the film actually comes out and everything like that.
But what's so scary? Like I'm gonna say this a lot right now. But what's so scary is that in the trailer, he's walking in the streets on Halloween night, and nobody realizes that that's the actual.
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact that it's Halloween night, so nobody realizes that that's the guy who kills people. You know, that's all I'm gonna
On
say there.
Halloween night.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say there. Now, moving from remakes and stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I've actually yesterday night I actually binge watched the trilogy of the Karate Kid,
Oh.
and it's actually the first Karate Kid is good. I really like the first Karate Kid. I mean, you watched the first original Karate Kid, haven't you?
Heck yeah, I have.
And I mean, what did you think of it? You know, like how long has it been since I've actually seen it?
It's been. I mean, you binge watched it, so.
Yeah, oh, yes, I binge watched the heck out of it, and the first Karate Kid is good. I liked it, the story and everything. I think it was pretty good. The Karate Kid 2, I remember the Karate Kid 2 was actually my favorite before.
Karate Kid 1. Or any
Yeah.
other ones.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm just gonna say this: the Karate Kid 3 sucked. It
course you didn't.
sucked. I watched that film and I was gonna fall asleep at times.
Like, I watched Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 2. Karate Kid 2 was when he went to Japan, wasn't it?
Yep, it was when he went to Japan.
Yeah, I saw that one. I remember that one.
That one, I actually kind of liked the Karate Kid too. I really liked it just for the fact that it was more of a it kind of took away from Daniel because it was
So.
it was focusing more on Mr. Miyagi and his life. How
Yeah,
he
because, like,
how you left Okinawa to I don't even know where
just,
the first I don't even know where that takes place.
the first one, it took place in San Francisco.
Is it San Francisco?
It's California. I just know it's in California.
Okay, but yeah, just learning how just learning the fact that Mr. Miyagi left, you know, his hometown or his country to get away from Sato, who wanted to challenge him to like a fight of death or something like that, because you know Santos was arranged to marry, you know, a girl that Mr. Miyagi liked, and of course Mr. Miyagi proposed to her, and then Santos was like, oh, that is dishonor, and then he was gonna fight him, and Mr. Miyagi just left.
'Cause, like, Mr. Miyagi isn't the type of man to kill at all. He wants to keep the peace.
Well, it wasn't to kill, but it was just he didn't want to fight his best friend. And I'm just gonna say this. One thing I realized is that like Mr. Miyagi has such a chill approach to when someone is causing a ruckus, and then at the end of the film, he's just like, yeah, go ahead, beat the crap out of him. It's like, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I have nothing against Mr. Miyagi, but just the fact that that's how it is kind of bothers me, you know, because like.
That's not the Mr. Miyagi we know.
Yeah, because Mr. Miyagi's always like, oh yeah, I use, you know, karate's for, you know.
You're good. Not
Well, it's more like for defense, you know. He always says karate's for defense, but I feel like at the end of the Karate Kid 1, Daniel just forgot about the defense. Actually, no, I'm not sure how karate actually works, so I'm not gonna like, really speculate on that. But I really like the first Karate Kid. The first Karate Kid is a classic. It's actually a sleeper hit too. Did you know that?
yeah.
Like the film only had a budget of $8 million, and then
Yeah.
it made over 90. It made back $90 million. So it was
That's
a
nice.
yeah, it was a sleeper hit. But you know the most successful Karate Kid film in the franchise is actually Karate Kid Part 2.
I'm not surprised because I mean they went to. I literally know they actually literally went to Okinawa.
Well, no, they didn't go to Okinawa. They went to like Hawaii. Like they went to a place that looks.
No, I'm for sure that they actually went to Okinawa. To be honest with you,
Well, that means
but we weren't born at that time, so we wouldn't know.
yeah,
So we're gonna leave it to whatever our imagination is. We're probably gonna get destroyed by like people who actually know this kind of facts.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to have that happen. What else do we got? Oh, so the Karate Kid 2 had a budget of 13 million and made back 115.1 million.
Damn.
So they made back a lot of money. Now let's go
And
see.
then,
Let's go see the Karate Kid Part 3. Now I just want to go see.
oh,
Okay, the Karate Kid 3 budget. Okay, well, it's not telling me the budget, but it's just telling me the box office.
how much was the box office? How much did they earn?
So the box office got 38.9 million.
Okay,
So that was a
so it's not that
drastic
bad.
that was a drastic drop from the first two films. Because the first one made 90
Yeah,
million, the other one made 115.1 million. This one only made 38.9 million. So I,
never mind.
I
That's
consider that a bomb.
yeah, that just bombed it. To be honest with you, it did not succeed
And
how they
then
thought it would be.
the next Karate Kid,
Which one?
that it's called the next Karate Kid. Literally, it's called the next Karate Kid.
Oh,
Starring Hilary Swank as
oh,
Anna. The budget was 12 million, and it only made back 15.8 million.
really?
Yeah, that's a bomb. I mean, at least it brought back its original budget and made 15.8 million, but that's not a lot considering their budget was 12 million.
Yeah.
Now let's go see the new Karate Kid.
The one was Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
So the budget was 40 million, and it made back 359 million. So I mean, you know, pretty
How
successful.
much did it make?
359 million, I
Okay.
believe. I just accidentally exit out the uh the page, so I
The
gotta go.
page.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go back and look at it again just to make sure I'm not going crazy. But I remember watching the Karate Kid, the remake one in theaters, and I thought it was pretty cool. I really liked it, but
It still missed that element of everything. Like
yeah, I mean, give it,
everything was different, like
well,
completely different. Like it was reversed. It was like role reversed. Like he went from Detroit to Japan,
wait,
or I forgot
China,
where he
China.
went. China. Thank you. He went to China, and then in this one it's like role reversed because like he goes to a whole nother place,
Yep.
and in the original Karate Kid, he just went from state to state,
Yeah. And,
and it's still in. I mean, it's still in the country of the United States.
yeah. I mean, and really, the only problem I have with it is where Jackie Chan's all like, "I'll teach you kung fu." It's like I thought it was karate.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is called the Karate Kid, not the Kung Fu Kid.
No, that's
So
why.
you must be mistaken.
No, that's why I said. I was like, I'm sure it's the Karate Kid, but
It's like what's it called? It's like wasn't he in Kung Fu Panda?
who?
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he was in Kung Fu Panda, but it was just
I
it was
think it was caught lacking.
it was just like a small role. Like I mean, of course, the
Yeah,
monkey is like the part of the group of like the martial
the
artists,
karate
but it's just the fact that like they didn't give a lot of lines for Jack.
roles in line.
Yeah, they didn't give a lot of lines to him.
Yeah, so he wasn't really in the movie.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, no,
Kind of like underrated person.
yeah. I wish they would have gave him more,
Lines.
yeah, more lines just for the heck of it.
Yeah, but in this one, he's not Mr. Miyagi. He's
Mr. Han.
Mr. Han. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the kid isn't Daniel LaRusso. It's Dre something. They don't even give his last name. I just know his name is Dre. Oh, Dre Parker.
Yeah, so it was Dre Parker.
Yeah. So they still give him that like American like American aspect because I mean Daniel Russo, that's American, and then Dre Parker, that's still American named, and
Mhm.
they still gave like the elements, but it wasn't. It was like missing that feeling though.
Yeah.
But here was the thing: is that what I don't understand completely yet
What was that?
is why did that little kid hate him so much? I mean, he was talking to some girl and he's new. It's like, of course you're gonna be like some big time bully because this is some kid that just came new, like fresh meat and shit. But like, come on, it's
I
like this is
I
a kid,
I
like new kid
honestly
trying to
don't
make
know.
some friends. Like, I mean, in Karate Kid, it was it made full on sense of why what's his name again,
Johnny or
uh Johnny. It gives a whole reason why Johnny hated him
yeah.
so much because that was his girlfriend and Daniel LaRusso was talking to her and hitting on her.
Yep. Yeah. You know, have you
And
seen that video online where it says Daniel is a real bully?
no,
Dude, you ever seen that video? Okay, it's a theory that was made by a fan of the Karate Kid, and it's literally called Daniel is the bully.
I mean, how though? I mean, what does he do though?
Okay, so there are several elements in the reason why Daniel was the real bully, and hopefully I'll be able to find a article or something like that. But anyways, so, okay. Speaking of which, finding an article, I was able to find something. So apparently, the 1984 classic The Karate Kid is not about Daniel LaRusso, the new kid in the neighborhood, becoming the target of Cobra Kai member Johnny Lawrence. Nope, it's the other way around. Johnny is the real hero, trying to make things work, but Daniel, the violent psychopath, doesn't let him, and he even gets help from the demon sorcerer Miyagi. It's a pretty funny theory, but I guess the fact is that. So one what do you call it? Johnny's trying to talk to Allie at the beach about the relationship and stuff. Daniel was getting in the way. You know, it was all like he's getting in the way, and he's just trying to talk to his girlfriend, and then Johnny felt and like, dude, what are you doing with your controller? I can like that's picking up over on this side of the mic.
because I'm playing UFC.
Oh my god, this man is playing UFC, ladies and gentlemen. He is playing UFC as we're having a podcast. But anyways,
But I'm liking it.
but anyways, yeah, Johnny uses self defense against Daniel, and then like Daniel, it's a pretty long video. I don't even know how long this video is. I have to go figure out. Oh, I mean, it's only 4 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it's only 4 minutes and 43 seconds. But I'm not gonna like, you know, do all that stuff. You guys can go watch that on your own time. But really, that's all. That's really how it is. Is that they say that Daniel's the real bully. So I mean,
I mean, I don't see it at all. Because like, I mean, Johnny's the real bully. It's so it's so well seen. Excuse me. It's so well seen.
would you
Like
explain that?
Daniel LaRusso, he comes from like what was it, New Jersey,
Yep,
wasn't it?
New
Yeah,
Jersey.
he comes from New Jersey straight out, and he's just trying to make friends. He sees Allie, a nice girl, and he tries to make friends with her. He has the love struck, but he doesn't know anything. Like he doesn't know if she has a boyfriend or nothing. Or she doesn't. He doesn't know who Johnny Lawrence. He doesn't know if he's He doesn't know if he's violent, mean, or anything like that. He just straight off the bat just doesn't know anything about the place. He
Right,
just comes in as a fresh mind,
right.
and then he tries to make friends, and then here comes Johnny Lawrence just being like a dick and fucking kicks his ass at the beach. And he's so defenseless, and you're just like, what the hell, dude? It's like, come on. It's like he's trying to talk to new people. Even Ali was like, Johnny, stop it. He's like, come on. And he was trying to fight too,
Yeah, I
but
mean, but
he
but
couldn't.
what do you explain about when he like when they're at the Halloween party and he douses Johnny with water in the bathroom?
Oh,
What about that part?
that.
Like,
I mean, he did that out of revenge because I mean, think about it. You're just like so sick of it. You're so like it's like just like being in class to some guys just like making fun of you and just like you're so sick of it and you just want to get back at him, make him feel like crap, and you have to do something.
mm-hmm,
And so that's what Daniel LaRusso did. But
right?
instead of acting on it with violence and like calling him like a bitch or some shit like that or exposing him, he ended up just taking matters into his own hands and embarrassing him.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, and the tournament stuff is pretty fitting too with "You're the Best Around" soundtrack playing. That's pretty.
Yeah,
It fits the film, and then the Karate Kid 2. Literally each film starts off right after another film ends. So with the Karate Kid 2, it literally begins where they won the tournament, and then going, proceeding.
outside.
And I mean, one thing I really hate, or like one thing I really didn't like in the Karate Kid 2 is how it transitioned 6 months later, and Allie and Johnny, they, or not Johnny, excuse me, Allie and Daniel, they have their problems, so like Allie is, breaks out with Daniel to date this guy who plays football at UCLA or something like that, and I kind of hated, that. I I wish they I mean, it
Stay
also,
together.
yeah, and literally, I guess it's also just for the fact so that like Daniel can go and like date the or like the other girl in Japan or something like that. But I feel like Allie should still remain in the story. I really liked her character, and I think she's probably the most competent character in the whole entire series compared to,
Anybody else?
yeah, compared to anybody else. I feel like she was probably the most well developed love interest in the film series, and that's just what I'm saying right there. Is that the one in the third film, she was literally there for the first half or the throughout the film, but then once the tournament comes around, she just leaves and goes back and dates her old boyfriend. And of course, she and Daniel likes each other in the third film. I mean, there's
It's
no,
well known.
yeah, it's well known, but she just kind of disappears towards the end of the film. And then in the Karate Kid 2, and I like the love interest in the Karate Kid too, but I would have preferred Allie to be in the second one, and just that's just my opinion though, and you know, but anyways, they go to Okinawa, and then Santo and his like nephew or something like that is over there wreaking havoc against Mr. Miyagi and Daniel, and then of course when there's that giant storm comes around, Daniel goes and helps this little girl, and then like Santos like, oh, Chosen, go on, help him. He's like, oh, I can't. So he loses all his honor from his uncle, and then comes back for revenge at the end of the film, and they have a fight to the death. And of course, Daniel wins, obviously, and he gets the girl, and the film ends. And I really like the second Karate Kid, and I mean, the only thing that really annoys me is that Daniel is such a pushover in the films, dude. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
He is such a pushover, like, dang. And
Explain.
well, what do you? Okay, so the first film, he went the distance to prove the point that he wasn't gonna be pushed out anymore. But in the second film, he goes to Japan and he just gets whipped. Like he literally gets whipped. I'm not like, okay, no, not whipped like a whip, but like he just gets
He
beat
gets
up.
fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's like, dude, all this karate that Mr. Miyagi is teaching you is like what, and like
It's like dishonoring it
yeah,
itself.
and like when Chosen and like all of them come in to starts destroying Mr. Miyagi's like home area, Daniel just gets like he just gets beat up, and I was like, dude, come on, like you don't even attempt to really like. Okay, he attempts,
But
quote
he
unquote.
doesn't tempt hard
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. And then Mr. Miyagi, of course, has to come and save the day, and the same goes for the third Karate Kid. We'll get to that in a bit, but like, come on. But the final fight, I liked the final fight of the second Karate Kid. It was really, in my opinion, it was kind of brutal. Just seeing them both throw punches back and forth at each other. That was pretty good. But
Yeah.
the technique that he uses to like beat him is just kind of corny.
Yeah.
Like the crane kick really wouldn't work in a fight, but that was the first time there it was seen in films and stuff like that. I'm sure back in 1984 when the crane kick was seen on the big screen, everybody was attempting that in the school playground and everything like that, like for sure. But
Of course.
yeah, but the crane kick wouldn't work, and that's proven in the Karate Kid too, and in real life. It's just probably like it's just common sense. If someone does a crane kick, all you gotta do is just sweep the leg underneath them.
Of course.
But I mean, given the fact that like that's how it is, I don't think it would work. Uh, but then moving to the Karate Kid 3, dude, that film literally irritated the heck.
Ripped.
It irritated me so much. Like, okay, let's just get this straight. So the third film starts off directly after Mr. Miyagi and Daniel arrive home from Okinawa, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, how is Daniel gonna get the mess beat out of him by Mike Barnes, a punk who just wants to inflict pain on him? But let's get this straight. Daniel just came back from Okinawa after having won a death fight to the death match, right?
Yeah.
So how is Daniel getting beat up by this no-name kid named Mike Barnes back at home when he just survived
A
a fight?
storm.
Yeah, a storm and a fight to the death. I was like, what? That makes no sense. So honestly, I think it should have been the Karate Kid 1, 2, or no, excuse me, Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 3 as Karate Kid 2, and then Kid 2 as Part 3.
Yeah.
That would have been more fitting.
Better.
Yeah, that would have been more fitting in my opinion, because then through the first two films, let's say the third film is the second film, right?
Hmm.
Daniel would have had more experience, so then when he went to Japan and had that fight to the death, it would have been a little bit more cinematic in a sort of way.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of rambling on right now. It's kind of I'm just kind of rambling on. That's just kind of what I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't even want to try to watch the next Karate Kid. I just watched the trilogy films, and that was about it.
I was watching a little bit of Cobra Kai. Oh my god, dude! That show is. It's not. It's not looking great.
What do you mean? Do you not like it?
It's just 50-50 on me, dude. Like, there's so much of it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. Like Daniel LaRusso isn't Daniel LaRusso anymore. Like, he's like some completely Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like he went from like Daniel LaRusso sticking up for himself to Daniel LaRusso selling cars and some stupid shit like that. It's just like,
I mean that it is the future, but from what I heard, he just becomes more of a prick, and
yeah,
Johnny is more of a understanding. And from what I get, there's a point in time in the series where Daniel goes back and visits Mr. Miyagi at his grave, and he says that I wish
yeah,
you were here right now, and I really like how they connected back to Mr. Miyagi and
yeah.
like that, and so and the next Karate Kid, right?
Mhm.
So the next Karate Kid, from what I remember, they said it is canon.
Mhm.
So it's canon to the Karate Kid 3, 2, and 1. Now,
Yeah.
Hilary Swank's character, what's her name? I don't even know her name. Her name's Julie. Excuse me. Sh Since it's canon, Julie and Daniel might have actually met at Mr. Miyagi's funeral. If you think about it, if it's canon.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just it's a whole bunch of things that we're talking about here, but we're branching off into different things. So let's just kind of bring it back together real quick here. So we just got done talking about the Karate Kid, and we took about a good chunk of time. So right now we're probably getting close to wrapping up the first episode of our podcast. We're sitting at 54 minutes. This is the raw audio file itself. The video file might be cut down with the intermissions and just whatnot, but that's about it. So we're at the 55 mark. We'll probably hit the hour mark or something like that pretty soon. Real quick, the last 5 minutes, we're gonna talk about some. I don't even know what you want to talk about these last 5 minutes, Ben. Do you want to talk about anything these last 5 minutes, or else we can just go ahead and at the end the episode here.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. And we'll probably be planning on doing episodes maybe every. Today is Tuesday, but we might do it every Wednesday. We might upload each episode every Wednesday. We might do a podcast, Monday and then upload it on Wednesday. It gives me time to edit the night before and the next day.
Mhm.
But it was a fun first episode, guys. We had a lot of fun talking about Resident Evil 2 and the Karate Kid. Hopefully, next episode we'll talk about something a little bit, hopefully more of interest to you guys. We'll probably brainstorm more. But other than that, Ben, you want to say goodbye to the great listeners that we have here?
Well, I mean, this is something we've been trying to do this time, and this is like our first episode. I mean, now I just hope people enjoy it and hopefully just give us feedback on like things like, oh, fix this, fix that. I mean, that's what we're looking for in this. I just hopefully just get the feedback.
Yeah, and yeah, any sort of advice, criticism, and stuff. We'll take it. try and improve on
Hate.
this. Yeah, no hate though. You know, if I'm just gotta make this clear stuff. You know, any type of rude comments, racism, or anything of that sort of nature is within the comment section. And it sounds kind of stupid, but I will be monitoring what you guys say in the comment sections and stuff. And if I find it racist, rude, or just plain out disgusting and all that stuff, I'll not hesitate to remove that comment. We're looking for a nice community to build here for you guys to, come and talk with each other. No arguments, no nothing. Just like I said, nice community
Start
here.
up, start up like little fucking polls or anything like what you guys want to talk about. I mean, what do you guys talk about? What you guys want our opinions on?
Yeah, you guys want to do? If you guys want to like have polls, or you guys want to like have something too, you guys can go ahead, leave comments down there. We'll go ahead and take a look. We'll select a couple of them, a few of them maybe, and we'll actually talk about them in the next episode and whatnot. But anyways, we gotta close it off now. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first podcast. Hopefully, we'll be bringing you guys back more. Ben, you want to say, or do you want to do the honors of saying the last goodbyes?
Wow. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Because there's no video at this, I hope you guys just enjoy it. That's the last things I got to say. I mean, I hope you guys enjoy as much longer. I mean, as much as we do making this, to be honest.
All right.
Because I mean, this is fun.
And we'll probably have the credits roll. There probably won't be any credits because I'm the producer. I'm the producer. I'm the editor. But anyways,
Who's the idea?
we'll see you guys next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay safe.